Timbutawa, IQ WA.
W.
Hey, I.
IQ.
I. W. Hey.
IQI.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to IQI Friday Prop Talk. And my name is Lian. I'm the Sales and Marketing Manager at IQI Australia, and I am your host this evening. And if you have not crossed paths with IQI in the past, IQI stands for International Quality Investment. So IQI WA is the first IQI branch in Australia, and we are based in Perth. We are Perth-based sales and marketing real estate agency, and we specialize in apartment projects and many of the brand new house and land packages as well. And we also recently just opened up our secondary market, which is the sub-sale market. So if you are looking to sell your home, we are able to help you. So IQI is the largest international real estate network in Southeast Asia and Middle East region with more than 60,000 agents now and across 19 countries. So at IQI, our aim is to empower our buyers to become global residents and transform buyers into international investor. So with our IQI platform, so all these 19 countries that I just mentioned briefly, so they are like Malaysia, Singapore, Cambodia, Thailand, Philippines, we are all actually connected and work under one umbrella. So the beauty of that is that we can actually market and sell the properties cross-border. So you as a developer, if you come along today and say, IQI, can you advertise my project for me? So we can not only advertise your project locally, we can actually promote it to the other 19 countries as well. So that's the beauty of the platform. And likewise, as an investor, if you would like to expand your portfolio, we could do that as well. So we can actually source property in a different country for you. Say if you want to look into Thailand market, Cambodia, that sort of different type of investment option, we can do that for you as well. So anyway, if you would like to find out a little bit more about IQI, how we work, leave us a comment below or private message us, and we will get in touch with you. So yeah, it doesn't matter whether you're seller, buyers, or anyone. If you're interested to find out more, please get in touch. All right, before we go on, I just want to say a huge congratulations to everyone in Perth. Yes, so we have achieved zero COVID case today. So well done, everyone, and congratulations. Let's keep it that way. Sooner or later, the border should open, hopefully, and that will be a great news for everyone. Yeah. And other than that, I think there is another good news. Recently, Perth just got promoted into number 6. I think it's number 6 out of the top 10 most livable city in the world. So yes, so Perth, good on you. Well done. We have climbed up the ladder. Yeah. Anyway, today everyone is here, not because of that. Tonight you're here, you tune in for a very special reason. You're here for a reason. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm sure the 55,000 tax-free incentive that we advertised have attracted many of you here tonight, just to find out what is this about. Now, this is not a trick to trying to get you to come in to listen to us. It's a real government incentive that's available to investors who want to have an easy holding investment property. 55 tax-free incentive from the government, why not? And of course, tonight we have our not special, she's always here, our speaker, which is our head of country of JUA IQI, Lily Chong, also the director of IQI WA, who is going to share with us about this scheme. What is this 55,000 and how to get it, and yeah, what is it about? Let me reassure you, this is not a new scheme. Been in the market since 2008. And if you wonder how come you never came across this incentive, you haven't met the right agency. So you must come and talk to us at IQI. Okay, without any further ado, let me introduce Lily. Hi, Lily.
I have to unmute.
Yes.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, thank you so much, Leanne. Of course, good evenings, or I think for some, I saw some is actually good morning from, we have friends from Cambodia, and we have, I saw also like people tune in from Canada as well, surprisingly. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, good evening and good morning for everyone, because obviously because this is a global platform, so everyone's trying to tune in and to see what sort of incentive is that. Okay, so as Leanne just introduced me, my name is Lily. I'm the director for IQI, and I'm also the country head for Australia. So tonight we would like to share with you our opinion, one of the best property investment scheme available in the market, that is NRES. So for those who attend my seminar last year, and because I have done so many of these NRES seminar, and you have to start to do some things. And I saw a couple of you also tuning in today. Congratulations so much, because I know a lot of you have started to receive money, and some of you even will receive more than 55,000. Only for this year, you already get more than 50,000. Congratulations for that. Buy me a dinner or lunch. Okay, but
I've been checking my email for that, Lily.
Yeah, you can take this as an invitation. I think a lot of people were sending thank you next week, I would assume. Okay, even though we say so, right, you will be surprised, right? This scheme has started since 2008, but until today, after 13 years, there are still so many people doesn't know this scheme. That's why they will think that is scam. After 13 years, they still think that is scam. Okay, anyway, let's start. Let me share my screen first. Lian, give me a signal. Is that all good? Yeah.
Yep, all good. Can see it clearly.
Okay. Now, like everything else, before I start, please allow me to do a quick disclaimer, because this presentation is only intended to inform, and it's just a general reference. Okay. Everyone's financial objectives and goals are different. Therefore, before you make any investment decisions, please seek for the independent professional advice. And all the numbers and the calculations that I'm going to show you, so I'm purely for reference. And it is different cases by, it is different case by case, because individual situations are also different. And the objective is just to purely just, so that I can compare the same product between with or without NRES, okay? And prior to making any investment decision, as I emphasize again, consult with your professional team, including your, let's say your financial planner, your accountants, or even your lawyer. Okay. Now, what is NRES? Okay, NRES is it is simple, or what you can see on the screens. It's referred to National Rental Affordability Schemes. Okay, this is a long-term commitments by the Australia federal government and also the state government. The scheme, as I mentioned, it has been started since 2008. The main reasons or the main purpose to have that scheme is in order to increase the supply of these affordable rental dwellings, and also reduce the rental costs for those, low and moderate income family. Now, to make the whole scenario easy to understand and straightforward, we make it into a story. Okay, well, we start with this lady called Michelle. So Michelle is an administrator. So she's earning $4,250 per month, which is around 51,000 per year. So currently she is paying 1,500 per month as a renter, which is, as you can have a quick calculations, that is about, like $375 per week, which is quite, quite common as a renter. Now, government want to help people like Michelle, who is in the middle class and spend more than 30% of their income. You can do a simple calculations. 1,500 divided by 4,250, that is around 35%. So people want to help, government want to help the middle class like Michelle, because they have good income, they have stable income, they are overqualified for these governments or state housing. So but they still suffer because they are paying like 30%, out of their income for rental. I was actually surprised, when I look at 30%, because because I stay in Hong Kong, I live in Hong Kong before. That is quite common for a Hong Kong family, right? Pay one of the, like, let's say if couples, right, half of the income actually go for the rental. But anyway, in Australia, 30% classified as a lot. So what the governments do, of course, the governments, right, they can do so many things. For instance, they can build more property, okay? But we all know the cost involved will be very high. And also they will consume, it takes time to build this property. So the governments come up with different solutions. So what they have done, they visit and they pick some of the area or property where a lot of people actually want to rent or want to live in, okay? And they qualify this property with an NRES allocations. So remember, this is not a government housing. This is a private property. Okay, for example, like the Emerald apartment, which I'm going to introduce you later on, there are 388 units. It's only 30 units is come with MRES allocations. Okay, so investor who is looking for more cash flow, like these gentlemen, so they will buy this kind of property. Okay, so what they do is government give them a conditions. So this Mr. A, he need to give a discount to Michelle to live into this apartment. The terms is 20%. Okay, they need to give a 20% discount to Michelle. So Michelle, instead of paying a renter 1,500, Michelle need to pay only 1,200, which means that from 35% reduced to 28%. Easy maths. So 1 year or month, Michelle actually saving $300 per month. And for 1 year, she's saving $3,600. So Mr. A is sacrificed the 3,600 for Michelle. So what he get in return from the government? Easy. Once a year, he's receiving tax-free $11,124 from the government. So you do a simple maths, okay? When you sacrifice 3,600 and you get 11,000 back, you tell me you are earning money or you're losing money, okay? That is the whole theory of NRES. Now, who and how to pay? So there are two key elements for the incentive, okay? 25% out of this 11,124, 25% is from the state and the territory governments, which is around 2,781. Okay, this will be paid during the financial, at the end of the financial year and per dwelling per year, and directly, the governments pay directly into your nominated bank accounts. Okay, and then the 75% that's from the federal governments or the Australian governments, which is around $8,343, is paying through the income tax return as a tax offset. So they will actually issue you a RTO, which we stand for refundable tax offset. It is a certificate they will issue to you at the end of the financial year, and you pass the certificate to the accountant and claim the money back. Okay. By the way, the NRES financial years, right, doesn't run as a normal financial year as what we have in Australia. That is from the 1st of July until the end of June. For NRES, the financial year runs from the 1st of May to the end of April. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, right, NRES, right, has started since year 2008. So as you can see from the charts, right, the incentive at that time was only 8,000 per year, adjusted every year according to the CPI. So in this coming year, 2021 up to 2022, the incentive is 11,124. So as you can see from the charts, right, the white color is the contributions. Actually, it's not white color, it's like the blue color is from the state government, which is a 25%. And the orange color, that is the contributions from the federal government through the RTO, as I mentioned. And then the gray colors, right, is the total. So 8,000, as you can see, right, it's keep going up, and then it's dropped a little bit because of the COVID. Now, who is the tenants? Okay, a lot of people think, okay, because this is one of the most common questions we are being challenged or being asked, like, what sort of tenants I'm going to get? Because they have an impression, right? They think people live in NRES property, okay? They don't have high income, they must be a bad tenant. I don't know since when you have not earned enough money, when you are not a rich people, you are classified as a bad tenant, which is totally wrong, okay? I don't agree on that, okay? Middle class, they don't earn high income, which is a fact, okay? If they can save 20% of the rental each week, just like what I mentioned just now, if they're living in MB apartment, 388 unit, is only 30 of them with the 20% discount, okay? When everyone is paying, let's say $360 per week, if they are only paying the same unit, $300 per week, don't you think they will behave themselves and be a good tenant? Okay, so this is the household income in order to qualify to live into NRES property. Okay, as you can see from the tables, right? For single incomes, they must have the incomes not more than 52,000 when they move in. If they're earning more than 52,000 per year, they are not qualified for that. Okay, and when the incomes, right, go up to 65,000, no, more than like 65,000, let's say they go up to 66,000, they have to move out from that, NRES property. If you are husband and wife and with 2 kids, as you can see from the tables, if you're earning more than 100,000, okay, you're not qualified for that. Okay, but if you move in, you stay there for a couple of years. Let's say, right, your income is just hit 100,000. Okay, so you can move in. But when your income more than 135,000, right, you have to move out. To be honest, right, I really don't think 135,000 is a very poor family. Okay. Now, what is the holding cost? I think this is the key questions, right? People want to know. Okay, since we're talking about NRES, okay, it sounds like so good. Okay, so what is the tax? Like, what is the holding cost? Is that you pay more? Okay, let's go through the figure one by one. Okay, now I try to show you what is the holding cost between non-NRES. Let's say if I give you a 5% rental guarantee and also NRES. We take a simple example. We use a case study. This is a gentleman, let's say, okay, so earning an income 70,000 per year. When you are earning 70,000, before you touch your money, okay, the government is taxed at least 14,000 out from you, okay, so that is around 20.98%, okay, tax rate. I think it's quite reasonable. And then by the time you really got that money, which is around 55,000, okay. Now, let's say this gentleman decide to do an investment, buy a property, the price is 365,000, go for 90% loan, okay, 90% LVR, and let's say do interest on it, because if you pay P&Is, right, I don't think principal when you pay, right, that is your liability, because that should be part of your asset because you pay down your loan. So let's say we do interest only loans, okay? Now, the interest rate, let's say you take 3%. We know that in the markets right now, right, they can go down to 2%, but I just take 3% as an example. And then let's say the rental, we use approximately 410 to 440 per week. And according to the appraisers, right, this example that I'm going to use, according to the rental appraiser, it's up to 465, but sometimes it's too good to be true. So what I'm trying to show you is more conservative, 410 to 440 per week. And the depreciations, again, I try to be very conservative because their report show me 11,000. I just take 8,500 for the first year calculation. Let's see what is the result. Now, as I mentioned, right, the purpose for this calculation is to show you the comparison between the 3 different scenarios. That is the normal investment, rental guarantee, and NRES. As everyone finance circumstances and objective is different, please talk to your accountant or financial planner before you make any decisions. And let's go to the table together. If you want to see how this apply to your personal situations, right, or if you want to know the detailed breakdown, please contact whoever invite you to this event, or you can just private message us. We can always arrange my colleagues or consultants like to talk to you and put your scenario into the calculations. Okay, let's go through the table together. So as you can see, this is a non-MRES product. Let's say when you buy a property, that is a purchase price 365,000. I take MV apartment as an example because they are currently doing a big incentive. So they're actually offering 75% discounts for the stamp duty or rebates. Okay, so that's why you will see, right, the settlements, the stamp duty and the settlement cost is that low. So for this purchase, right, your cost is around 369,000. Now, sorry, I just tried to enlarge a little bit. Okay, the rental income, as I mentioned, because the appraiser, according to the developer, what the developer provides us is around $440 up to $465 per week. But I don't want to be too optimistic and make the figures look good. So I tried to use a very conservative. I use $400 per week for this property. So 400 times 50 weeks, you basically get 20,000 as a rental per year. Now, the mortgage interest management fee and also of expenses, that is around 18,000. As I mentioned, if you want to see the breakdowns, right, please feel free to arrange an appointment with my colleagues. And then the tax deductions, as you can see, right, because what our situations right now is because our interest rate is way too low. It's so hard to get a negative gearing. I mean, because it's so hard not to earn money, I would say in this way, because the interest is that low. So regardless how I try, right, even I put 3%, right, it's still positive of 1,980. I mean, when you deduct your rental minus the expenses, you still earn money. And then the only thing that this is depreciation, as you know, that is not the real money out from your pocket, but they allow you to deduct tax. So the depreciation is 9,848. And included your LMI, your launch mortgage insurance. So that is around 9,008. So you minus 7,868. So your annual tax savings becomes 2,782. Okay, because you have do some investment, so you get a tax return, you save $2,700. So the annual income is 20,000 minus the expenses and the extra tax savings you get because you have this investment property. So you basically have a net positions after tax 4,762. You still remember the figure I showed you just now? If you do nothing now today, so you basically paying 14,000 as a tax, okay? But because you do one investment, you get at least $4,700 back from the government. Okay. Now, let's look at this next scenario. If we have a rental guarantee, okay? So we have the same purchase cost, we have less. You will be surprised, right? How come, when you have a rental guarantee, you actually get the less rental? Because as I say, right, because the rental market in Perth is that good. Our vacancy rate is sitting at 0.9%. And our rental yield has go up more than 15% right now. Cities apartment is crazy. So because of that, even the developer willing to give you 5%, right? How you calculate this 5% is simple. 365,000 times 5%, that's how you get this 18,000. Okay, so this is guaranteed by the developer. So as you can see the tables, right, you would rather not to have the rental guarantee. Okay, anyway, so because you have lesser rental, of course your expenses is lesser as well because you have lesser property management fee. Okay, now even with this scenario, your net rental is not really lost. You still have a plus. You're still earning $538 extra. And with the stamp depreciation, so your tax, this is the tax deduction you're allowed to do. So you can deduct 9,310 from your tax, and you get the extra, and you get the tax returns, or your tax savings from the ATO is 3,301. Okay, so that is your net annual income minus the expenses plus the tax returns. So your net positions will be $3,840. Okay, now let's see the final scenario. What if you do NRES? Okay, you do the same because this is MV apartment, which I take as an example. You need to pay 6,600 to pay to the government or the consortium to buy the credit, the NRES credit. So your cost is slightly higher. So it's 376,186. The rest all the same. Okay, so your purchase cost remain the same. Your stamp duty, your settlement fee remain the same. Only you pay the extra 6,600 for the set to buy the NRES credit. Now, your rental income, as I mentioned, if you use $400 per week, right? Times 50 weeks is 20,000 because you need to give 20% discount as you promised. You would like to help people like Michelle, so you have 20% less rental as compared to non-NRES. So that's why you got 16,000 only. Cost more or less the same, is you have slightly higher cost because you post slightly higher property management fee. As I mentioned, right, they have more job because they are not only need to audit or to screen through your tenants like the normal property. They also need to audit the income, so they have more job for the property management. So because of that, when your income, your rental income cannot cover your expenditure, you have a loss of 2,520. You can deduct more tax. With the same depreciations, your tax, deductible tax is slightly higher. So you can deduct your income. This 12,000, right, is going to deduct from your incomes. Because of that, your annual tax savings will be slightly higher as well. So you have 4,402 in returns. And now your annual rental income is 16,000, expenses is 18,000, and then your annual tax savings, as I mentioned, right? You save more money, so you got the 4,400 because of the extra. The investment you have done, so you got this 4,000 extra returns, and plus the NRES incentive as the government promised. Okay, so you got 11,124 as a returns from the government because of the 20% discounts you have done. So in total, you have a net positions after tax around 13,000. So to make it easy, right, to make it simple, right, you can see, as I mentioned, sorry, it's so hard to get negative gearing. Your cost, when you do this NRES, right, let's say if you go for 10%, yeah, you go for 10% as your cost to do this exercise, to buy this property. If you come up with 10%, that is 36,500 plus the 4,556, the settlement fee, the stamp duty, okay, plus the 6,600, the NRES cost. So basically, you are spending 47,000, okay, from your pocket. And if you get a cash return from the government, 13,000, right? It's basically, if you look at return you, right? That is almost 27%, yeah. And then it's almost like in 4 years' time, you pay off all your costs, the cost that you spend to buy this property. Okay. So that is in summary. Okay. So non-NRES, as you can see, right, when you buy a property, you have 15%, right? It's actually is a tax return from the government. And all this green color is actually your rental. It's paid by your tenant. As you can see, it's already more than 100% because the rental is so good right now. And then let's say if you go for rental guarantee, your tax return is around 18% and your rental guarantee is around 100% as well, which is more than what you're supposed to spend. And what is NRES? NRES, you have a big portion also from this, okay, from NRES, okay? So 23, almost 24%, that is through the tax returns. And this green color is from your tenants, so that is around 60% because you give them discount as well, 20% discount. And then this 86%, right, is actually from the, the green color, this one is from your, that's what I say, how come more than 20%? Yeah, this is from your tenants, 86%. And the green one, the light green here, 60% actually is the incentive or from the NRES, through the NRES. So what do you think when you compare these three scenarios? So in summary, right, what I'm trying to say is okay, NRES can act like a safety net. Okay, it helps a lot for those people who need the cash flow before they can see the capital growth. I know whenever it comes to the investments, right, everyone will tell you capital growth, capital growth. But the thing is, capital growth is something that we don't know. We may get it, we may not get it. But I know the cash come into the pocket today, you definitely get it. Okay. So that is the first thing I'm trying to emphasize through this NRES. And then the second things I want to show you is the power of new property and the depreciations for and from the apartment, because that is the things, right, that tell you to get most of your tax return. So if you think to have 11,000 per year is good, you may need to, I mean, what I'm trying to show you here is, right, 4,700, you say not too bad, 3,000, quite okay. So if you quite targeting, you said 13,000, that is a real deal. Okay, so I would pass my last message. Try to find those established one as soon as possible, because regardless you do or not do, right, NRES come to the end in 2026. So if you only starting to look for house and land, thinking, I must get the land, okay, I would rather you don't do NRES. Because what is the point, right? When you spend like 6,000, 7,000, right, get the NRES, right, you can only use for the another 3 years, because its NRES is going to be end by 2026, regardless when you start. So the later you start, right, let's say you do house and lands, right, by the time you find the land, that is the end of 2021. The construction, you know how the market is right now. We are terrible short of labor. We are terrible. I mean, the material is going up like rocket right now. So by the time you can settle your house, right, that may be end of 2022. So you only start to use your NRES in 2023. It's come to the end mid of 2026, which means that you only have 2.5 years to go. If that is the case, I would rather say, don't try NRES. Just go for a normal property, because no point to spend 6,000 or 7,000, right, just for the sake of the NRES, right, that lasts you for 2 years. Okay. Now, which projects we have? Okay. As I mentioned, right, it's not every projects come with NRES. Okay, it's very selective, because you have to get the approval from the governments and from the consortiums, right, whether they're happy to put credit on this property or not. Currently, we have 4 properties that's come with NRES. The first one is MV Apartment, which I just mentioned. They're doing a big discount. Okay, there are 388 units established, and they're already complete in January of last year. And unfortunately, the settlements come not in the right timing, because it's in the middle of like the pandemics. So they still have fair bits of stock. So they give a big discount. The discount is around 6 to 13%. And they're offering 75% stamp duty rebate, free FRB. And for NRES, right, it is not free. Unfortunately, you have to pay $6,600 on that. We have another project in Midlands called Midlands High. And again, it's an established apartment. Okay, it was done in September of last year. And the price range is quite reasonable as well, because I mean, as compared to MV, right, they are not only reasonable, they are much cheaper because they are further from the CBD, but it's a good price. 24 units in total. We saw already 8 of them. We still have 16 to go. Okay. And this one, they come with free NRES. Okay. And back to the MV Apartments, I forgot to mention, as there are 388 units, it's only 30 of them come with NRES. And we are selling quite fast. And our Japan's market, I think we have some Japan's colleagues here as well. And they are selling like hotcake in Japan. Yeah. Now, the next one that we have is called Veracity in Cannington. Okay. Again, it's an established apartment. I think developer is going to call the settlement in the next 2 weeks. And we have only 2 to go. The whole project's 120 of them. We have 40 NRES in this whole apartments, and we have only 2 credit available. We sold out most of them. And as for Veracities, right, the developers currently is doing the free aircons upgrade to all bedrooms, and also the NRES is free, so you don't need to pay the extra 6,600. Okay, the last one, if you're really looking on those like more premium area, like like premium quality apartments, we have the Crest. That's where I'm sitting right now. So we have 4 of them that all go to the 2-bedroom. If you can afford, you can pay a I mean, if you can afford for the deposit, right? This is something you can look at, because remember, yeah, after 2026, right, your apartment is going back to be the normal apartments. So you have to compete with everyone else. So you because you don't have this safety net from ANRES, so you are just one of the normal apartment. So people can afford, you may can consider this is one of our premium developments. Okay, so as I mentioned, 168 unit, we have only 4 of them. Okay, so we almost come to the end. So I think I'm back to Lian's, and then in case you have any questions.
Thank you very much, Lily. That was a great sharing. Yeah, wonderful project that we have just listed as well, pick up that come with NRES limited quota. I remember, yeah, last couple of months, we were like fighting for the NRES investment stock. And all of a sudden, this developer came to us and say, look, we have more for you.
Yeah.
That is like, yeah, such a good news.
Yeah, I was thinking with what method they're getting all this credit from the government.
Yeah, it must be very trustworthy, because when the government give out this quota, they're actually quite selective in terms of who they will pick to, because they want to look after the people. So they want to make sure that the quota is actually going to a quality building, quality development. Otherwise, what is the point? Yeah. So let me have a quick look at the chat, see is there any question. And team, if you guys see any question on a different platform, do let me know. Right, I do have a question here. Before I go into the question, you have made a really good point about this is not the government housing, because I think a lot of people have that misconception that NRES is government housing and you share the ownership with the government, which is not the case. So you are the owner and you have the full ownership of that property, which is, yeah, independent. And another good point about the NRES tenant, so there are usually pretty quality tenant, and we do actually have retiree or semi-retiree that live in NRES property. So your rental discount actually help this group of people who can save on the rental and still have that extra money to, enjoy their retirement. So yeah, they're all not like, funny tenants. Yeah. So Lily, very important question. Now, who can enjoy this incentive? If I'm not a resident, can I actually participate in this?
Yes, definitely. There is a lot of sales, right, in the market. People say, oh, only certain people can buy it. Even when I start to sell NRES in 2010, that was 10 years ago when we just started, right? People also told us, right, only local people can buy that, which is not the case. Everyone, whoever, you are foreigner, you are local, as long as you can afford, because buying into NRES, right, just like buying into a normal investment property, you don't need to be like you don't need to be a certain class that you go to buy this property. As long as you are investor, you want to buy some things, okay, to invest, you can you can buy it, okay. Even you're a foreigner, you're FRB, everyone can buy that. But even me myself, we don't know when we just start. I still remember when we start, right, we thought this is only for local. I think that maybe because it's so good, we don't want foreigner to come and buy. And we have so many, actually the parents buy and rent to the kids, yeah, why not? They qualify, they're not like, it's not illegal, yeah, they still have to go through a process, right, that the kids need to apply through the consortium or through the property management, okay. It's not like they buy as an NRES and then they're just privately hiding or rent to the kids.
So
it's not
all
the case.
foreigner can actually invest in NRES property, and they usually are brand new anyway, because that is the requirement from the government. So again, they want their people enjoy a good properties to live in. So only brand new properties will eligible to get, hence the foreign investor can participate
Yep.
this program, which is fantastic.
Yeah, very good point, Lian, that she just mentions, right? NRES is not allowed to allocate to second-hand property. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and our next question is, if I would like to find out a little bit more about NRES, where can we get the information from? Of course, IQI, you must come to us.
I'm just about to say, just call Lian.
Yes, please.
Well, we actually have so many, government website, I would strongly suggest go to Australian government website, and then there is an information pack. Oh, of course, you can talk to anyone from IQI, regardless they are in Malaysia or they are here. Talk to them because they should have all the NRES informations, okay? But the best is because don't go to those chit chat room and then listen to those negative comments, right? Sometimes, right, just like Chinese say, when you cannot eat the grapes, right, it is always sour, okay? So that's why I say don't listen to such comment. The best is go to the government website because the governments, because as I showed you just now, it's a win-win situation because it helps the government, it helps the investor, it helps the tenant. So the government love that. Okay, they actually prepare a very information pack that in their website. So just go to the government website. In case you're not sure where, right? PM us, I can send you the link. Yeah.
So it's always go to the like what Lily mentioned,
the right channel.
The right channel. Because this is a government scheme, so all information is very transparent. So whatever we taught you here and share with you is all from the government website. So you get the right information. Next question. Now, can I actually sell my property that come with NRES? Say today I bought the NB from IQI, and then in 2 years' time I decided that I want to sell it. I don't want it anymore. Is that possible to do that? Will I have to lock in for many years?
Okay. Of course, you can stop the NRES in any time. Of course, it depends who is your tenants at that. If your tenant is a qualified tenant, right, who qualified for the NRES, right, of course, there will be a difficulty because you will have a tenants agreements with them, okay, which is unfair. But in the normal circumstances, if there is not incur any leasing agreements, right, there's no problem. There's no binding. You can stop your NRES in any time, because let's say, right, you go through let's say finance hardship or divorce, you never know, then you are being forced to sell the property. Okay, so that property, your next buyer, it can be just an ordinary owner occupied buyer, then they don't need NRES. Okay, so they can choose to give up, so just return the credit to the government, that's it. If your next buyer is an investor as well, if you're earning 13,000 extra per year, right, I don't see the reason you want to stop it. So the next buyer will just take over the credits and continue it. So continue to enjoy the NRES. Yeah.
So that's good. So you have that flexibility to terminate the NRES or on sale if you decided to. So that is great. So basically no different from owning a private investment then, except you get that extra $11,000 from the government to pay a lot of other fees. So that is excellent. Now
like I keep emphasize, sorry Lian to interrupt, like I keep emphasize from the beginnings, right, this is just a normal, just part of the normal, because people, too many of them, right, they have a wrong impressions, right, this is government house, okay, you stuck there, you can't do anything, okay, you bind for it. It's not the case. This is just a normal private property. You still can do anything you like. You still can put the window in pink color, for example. Okay, you still have the full ownership. The only difference is the track is you have to give 20% discount for the site to get 20% discount, like let's say $60, and then you get $220 per week in return. That is the only deal you have to do.
It's a bonus. And you mentioned about leasing and tenant just now. So who can actually manage this property? Can I manage it myself?
Yeah, of course. You can ask Paul to manage.
No, I don't mean that. If I'm not a real estate agent.
I thought Lian is trying to promote our service. That's why. By the way, we can manage, okay, because IQI is definitely, we have a property management arms in-house, so we can manage that. any property management who actually I shouldn't say in that way. It's not everyone, okay? Property management who need to be aggregated by the NRES, the consortium. They have to attend the class, then they qualify you, then you can manage it, okay? So basically, right, as I mentioned just now, there is no difference from this NRES and non-NRES. They still go through the same procedure, same property management, okay? Yeah, they are not some things like with 3 eyes, okay? They are just a normal PM like everyone else. So if you say, okay, if I'm going to buy from IQI, no problem, just leave it to us. We can manage for you, okay?
Yeah. But you as a buyer, if you're not a real estate agency, if you're not qualified to manage NRES, you can't manage it yourself.
Oh no, because then you will lose your incentive. Yeah, they're very strict with this one. Yeah.
Yeah, but I can manage for you.
I thought you want me to do some advertisement here.
Indirectly.
Yeah.
Paul better give me some commission.
Yeah. I saw my mom keep arm and down. Hi, me. I saw my mom in and out, in and out.
Yeah, you talked about, NRES, there's so many benefits. It's so good. Now tell me something bad about NRES. You got to have something bad. You can't have everything good. That's too good.
Okay. I think too good is the one bad thing because it's too good. People suspect it's a scam. Now, yeah, nothing in this world is perfect. Okay, when it is good, right, it's always some things behind. Okay, but it's very transparent. Okay, so NRES is not good for people, right, that have a cash flow issue. For instance, because as I mentioned, right, you need to give like 20% discounts, yeah, to your tenants, and your 11,000, right, is only comes once a year. You may Liam maybe start to laugh, wow, $60 per week also don't have. You will be surprised. There is people don't have. Okay, they cannot afford. I was thinking Liam was saying $60. I go to Dom already spend $60. Okay, so $60 for some investor that is a big money because you can't afford to lose that 20% for the sex, right? You only get your incentive at the end of the year. So the 11,000 right only come in once a year. Okay, that's what I say. Right, some of them very happy, like some of those is sitting in my office right now very happy because ching 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 they keep have money coming in, and then some of them already go up to 55,000. Yeah, so you can imagine if one people get 55,000 NRS, okay, tax free. Remember that. So that is equivalent to one normal people. How much Michelle is earning? Michelle is earning 51,000, right? You see the example I'm using. So this investor is earning Michelle whole year salary. Of course, they are happy. But the thing is, when you see they're happy, right, you forgot they sacrificed their 20% for Michelle. Okay, so they sacrificed from how many? 7%, right? Just now I calculate. So they sacrifice that 20%. Some people cannot like stand for that 20%. $60. That is a lot. Okay, so that is the disadvantage. And then there is an income restriction, as I mentioned, right? You can be low income, then you cannot be too high income. Okay, when you're earning more than 52,000 per year, okay, let's say Michelle now is earning 51,000. Wow, she can qualify. But as a Michelle, young people, she doesn't want to be forever in her life is earning only 51,000. What if the boss like Lily giving like 10% increment? Okay,
do I get any?
now totally out. So that is the income restriction is one of the disadvantage because you cannot be like a normal property that's go into the open markets, right? That's anyone can apply because that is the income restrictions on that. So you can only target certain tenants. Okay. And the third one, what I see is NRES go to, as I mentioned, right, they go to selective suburbs and property. Okay, and usually will be a high demand in renting. It's not like you say, I actually want Mosman Park, I actually prefer Dalkeith, or I actually prefer School Zone Wellington. I'm so sorry, there's no NRES there. Okay, so they are more looking on the investment markets, and they're looking more people want to live in as the income not more than 52,000. So there is a restrictions with where the credit put. So some people, if you want Dalkeith, I say sorry Dalkeith don't have NRES. Okay. And then, you know, because earning 52,000 living in Dalkeith is quite challenging, okay?
Mm.
And then, and Lian mentioned just now, that is another point I see is a bad point, because it needs to be a brand new property, which is never be sold and never be leased out. So if you insist, I need to say some few bad point about NRES. This is actually the 4 point I can think of. Yeah.
To be honest, so you talk about you need to top up the 20% shortfall in terms of rental. Can be a good and bad, isn't it? For some people who are very disciplined, that can be like a passive like saving for them. Because I have investors that told me that, Lian, this is good. I like that, because there is a way that you can do, like, you know, having the fund coming in earlier than end of the year, which I think if you speak to our strategists with, the agents, we will be able to show you a best way to help you to achieve that goal. So some people like to have the cash income in first, and some people like to use it as a saving. So by end of the financial year, they get that big lump sum. They're very happy about that. So that is one of the disadvantage that Lily talked about. And of course, the tenant restriction, then your circle of tenant will be a little bit smaller, and you will be actually surprised that actually a lot of people in the market that wanting to live in property that is slightly cheaper. I mean, who doesn't want to? And a lot of people work part-time, and student that who is studying and working at the same time. So they're all qualified to live in. So selective suburb, of course, So, but all the suburbs that the government pick are in the area that where you have a lot of amenities, schools, public transport, those are already, then they will put the incentive there, because like what I said again, they want to help the people. So they won't put the properties in an area that, you can't access anything. So I think we are close to 9 o'clock now, and I don't think we have any more question coming through.
That is normal, after like 10 NRES seminar I've done. I also didn't see any questions. I see. Hello from Cambodia, Tony.
Yeah, thank you everyone.
And I see from Thailand as well.
And the other thing that I would like to mention is, if you speak to our IQI WA agents or Australia agent, I'll say probably 90%. 90% of us on investment property. So we have actually personally used the product and have experienced it. Some of us on it for more than 5 years now. So it's not something that we haven't experienced, or not something that we are not sure of. So speak to our agents. And if you, like what Lily said as well, if you want to find out how you can benefit from this or tax return negative gear or everything, speak to our agents, because everyone's situation is different. Some people are on a very high tax bracket, so you will see lots more cash flow. Or if you decided to put more deposit, all the numbers is different. But what Lily has shown today is, if you compare a property without NRES, one with NRES and one with rental guarantee, the difference is obvious. So we will. Anything that you want to add in, Lily?
I just want to because actually I want to do a case study today, but because of the copyright, so-called copyright, that from this gentleman, he is earning 100,000, paying 42,000 as a tax, and then his tax return this year is 55,000. So
he's paying 27,000 tax.
Oh, is it?
Return is 55. Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. So if you want to find out more like how this gentleman do it, he has 2 normal property, 2 NRES property, and earning 100,000, right, Lian? And then paying 27,000 tax. I thought he's paying 42. Okay. He get 42 back last year, and he's going to get 55 this year. So, and it's still classified as low income. So in case you will be interested to find out how these gentlemen do it, so he's earning 150,000 plus he's subsidized for low income $600. So if you want to find out more, right, try to set up appointments and talk to my team.
Brilliant. All right. Once again, thank you everyone for joining us this evening, and I hope the presentation has been useful. We in the past has done the similar presentation on NRES, just focusing on different things. If you're interested, talk to the agent. We can share our YouTube with you again. All right. Have a great weekend, everybody. And thank you once again. All right.
Thank you.
See you. Goodbye, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Thank you. Thanks, Lily.
Thanks.